Okay, I figured I'd talk about what I would do if I were in charge. And honestly, I think everybody should do this. If nothing else, it helps you sort out your own mind and helps you figure out where you stand on things. It's part of your story, your life story, where you stand with respect to the rest of the world. It basically gives you more self awareness. So let's start point for point. What would I do when it comes to the border wall in the United States? I'd build it. Straightforward. Period. Straightforward. So I say build the wall. Stop listening to idiotic arguments on the left to shut it down, or that you can use technology, or that a wall is archaic, or ancient, or any other number of things. I'll tell you this much: when it comes to the wall, if they decide not to build it, pardon me, and they say we should use technology instead. The thing about technology and cameras and things like that is that they're a bit more perishable than a wall is. Humans come and go. Cameras come and go. A wall, look at the Great Wall of China, for instance, stays there for a very, very long time. It will linger for far longer than a single presidential term, or even a couple of them. This is why the left has so adamantly refused to agree to build a border wall. Also, I think the gaps, the slats in between the current wall model's pillars are a bit too large. They could find a way to squeeze through those. I don't like it. So that's what I would do with the wall. When it comes to healthcare, this is something that really bothers me. I simply cannot understand how, despite all of the evidence to the contrary about how socialism does not work, and you have things like the NHS and Veterans Affairs, etc., etc., why even some rhino Republicans are all about socialized healthcare. It is an utterly stupid idea. Utterly stupid. I'll tell you this. While our current system might not be very good, the United States is the state of the art. It really is. You don't have people running out of the United States, except for on very rare instances, to escape the poor health care. You do have them running out of countries like Great Britain or Canada, for example. Stefan Molyneux has talked about this with his cancer treatment. But not from the United States. So yeah, our current system might not be the ideal one. But socialized healthcare is definitely not the right answer. So I can tell you what not to do. I might not know exactly what to do, because we still haven't figured it out. It's kind of a Monte Carlo simulation. Basically, we're kind of scattering some shots in the dark, but it's definitely not socialized healthcare. Medicaid, Medi-Cal, Medicare, Obamacare, those are all stupid. Every one of them. It might sound blunt and even lacking in compassion to say that those who did not prepare themselves for health problems later on in life, or they didn't take care of themselves, etc., it might not sound very compassionate or empathetic to say that they should bear the cross of their foolishness, and that they should reap the consequences of not preparing. But they should reap the consequences of not preparing. It makes it so that people who do prepare, people who save money, people who willfully get insurance themselves, have to pay even more. You're making them pay for it. You cannot subsidize stupidity. If you let the free market do its thing, at least when it comes to medical insurance, then guess what happens? Smarter, better, more compassionate, more empathetic, healthier people are the ones that survive. It is the most compassionate means by which we do it. I could say this a billion times. It'll take a billion squared times to get people to understand it. Socialized healthcare is not the answer. It's not. So the decision to get rid of single payer by President Trump was a very good idea. And I'm very grateful that Dr. Rand Paul helped him with that. But they need to go farther. They need to get rid of Medicare and Medicaid slowly, but they need to do it. Because you don't want to do it all at once, because you'd hurt a lot of people who are otherwise healthy. Because, it's weaning people off of drugs. To that point, also Social Security. Of course, it is unfundable. I think it's like $20 trillion or something in unfunded liabilities there that will be depleted in about 20 years. Something like that. I can't remember exactly. Follow Dr. Ron Paul's idea. His idea was to allow people 25 and under to opt out. You'll slowly phase out the Social Security system, but those who already paid into it can decide to, or can reap the benefits of what they did. That's fine. But when it comes to everyone else, they shouldn't be forced to have to use it. I don't want to use it. I will have no use of Social Security when I get older. I have tons of other savings in other places that will do a lot better for me. And I also have, guess what? Family. Family is supposed to be there for you, especially if you actually did what you were supposed to do in life and you treated them well. You treated them with love and compassion and empathy. You helped build a better world with them. Social Security is another method by which the rest of us can be lazy. Not build those connections, those relationships, and rely off of, once more, the government teat. It is a stupid idea. And by the way, if my memory serves me right, it was an idea that was first developed it was either Otto von Bismarck, so World War I Germany, or it was Hitler's Germany, World War II Germany. But it was a socialist idea, and it is ridiculous. It must be done away with. Dr. Ron Paul's plan on that is a very smart idea. A very smart idea. All right, another one. So Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin has collapsed this year, and it's been doing very poorly for especially the last I'd say 2 months or so. But if you noticed, so this is for people who want to actually look at the charts. The price was settled at about $6,000 for, I'd say, about 2 or 3 months. And then all of a sudden, it collapsed to $3,500. I think what happened there was a big mover like Craig S. Wright, who, by the way, is a narcissistic, crazy guy. He's a doofus who shouldn't own Bitcoin, but unfortunately he did. I think he probably sold all of his holdings because of a falling out with Roger Ver, also another asshole. I don't know what's going through their minds. They think they're playing a game or they're acting or whatever, but they're genuinely being evil. I can tell you that. Whether it's acting or it's without any cognizance of their actions, they are being evil. But Bitcoin is a very good thing. It is not the mark of the beast. It is not evil. Alex Jones, you are wrong. Bitcoin is good. And Peter Schiff, period, end of story, you are wrong. Bitcoin is good. It is decentralized, which means it gives everybody the power that they want back in their hands if they use it. The problem is, Bitcoin in its current state is extremely complicated. Even I had difficulty, at least for a little bit, understanding the basics of it. Now, I don't consider myself the very, highest echelons of like science and all that stuff, but I'm pretty smart, and I had difficulty understanding it. So the market is very thin, very low volume. There's not too many exchanges of any repute out there, any rapport or reputation worth using. And those that are out there that people use on a regular basis, such as GDAX and Coinbase and whatnot,